Mind Your Subconscious is the podcast that provides you with techniques and knowledge about your subconscious mind, the part of your brain that lets you tame your ego and create an extraordinary reality with your thoughts. We invite meditation, hypnosis, NLP, EFT, and other experts to help you master the most powerful part of your brain. Your host is Jennifer Schlueter, who quit her job as managing editor of 22 newspapers to travel the world and work online after just one hypnosis session. A nomad ever since 2016, Jennifer is now a certified hypnotist and helps people create their dream lives.
Hello, and welcome to this first episode of the podcast Mind Your Subconscious with Jennifer Schlueter. Why the subconscious? Why would I tell you about that? And why would I make a whole podcast about it? Well, the subconscious mind is 95% of our brains, and we barely use it. But if we know how to use it and if we know how to control it, we can actually create reality with our thoughts, and we can make miracles happen, what people call miracles, or we can heal ourselves. We can do anything if we know how to control that part of our brain. As the host of this podcast, I will give you now a little bit of my backstory and why I'm so interested in the subconscious mind and in hypnosis. So let me start with that now. Back in 2015, I had a job that was great and it gave me a lot of chances, and I'm really grateful for it, and it opened a lot of doors and gave me a lot of opportunities. But it still was a 9-to-5 job. It still was a job where I had only 5 paid vacation days a year. It was a job where I couldn't grow because I was already directly underneath the CEO. And it was a job that didn't really allow me to travel. And also my location, LA, back then didn't really allow me to travel much because you just paid $200 to just go to Mexico, whatever, and then you can go to Latin America, but you need like at least a week, but then your vacation days are already gone. So I was like, fuck, I can't travel anymore. And traveling for me was such I went traveling like 2 or 3 times a year at least, and visited like two countries or 3 new countries a year, just because that's how I grew up. Like I grew up in Europe, and in Europe it's pretty common to go, like, it sounds fancy to Americans, but we go camping in France or in Italy, if you have some more adventurous parents. And that's what we did. We just went camping elsewhere. And I grew up in an international household, so I got to meet a lot of people from different countries, and just travel was really something that I absolutely love. And I love meeting people from new cultures. I moved cross continents when I was 19 years old just to be with a lot of people from different cultures in LA. And at one time I lived in a house with 10 different nationalities. It was incredible. So I really missed that part, and living in LA, having a 9-to-5 job didn't really give me that freedom. And also at the time, a lot of things in my personal life just went wrong, like awfully wrong. So I was like, okay, I need to change, like something needs to change. And then my friend was like, you know what, Jenny, why don't you try hypnosis? And I said, okay. I'm open for new things. Why not? And she introduced me to this hypnotist, and I went for my first session. And oh my God, like the first session, I don't remember what she said just because it was such a long time ago. But I remember waking up the next day at 5 o'clock in the morning, having made my decision to leave my job, quit it, and just go travel the world. Actually, I had made the decision to live in Paris for 6 months and then see what's going to happen. But my friend, like the week after or something, I told her, I was like, I made this decision, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, Jenny, why just Paris? Why not travel the whole world? And I was like, fuck yes, why not travel the whole world? I see other people do it, so I can do it too. And so I went online and I started researching, and I found travel blogging, and I found online jobs and whatnot. And I was like, man, I want this to be my lifestyle. I want to travel the world. I want to see many places. I want to live in many places. And that's how I want to live. And other people are doing it. So why can I not do it? And so I made that decision. And 2 weeks later, after that hypnosis session, I had told both of my bosses, and I was very grateful because they were super supportive, and they were like, man, Jenny, you are young, just go. Like, I know that I was so lucky with these two people, just because not many people not many CEOs in the US would say that, but it was also like a kind of like a family vibe kind of company. So, and they wished me the best. Like, I'm really grateful for that. And I had saved up for $4,000, and I went traveling. And then I faced a time, like it was about a year later, after I had started traveling. I was at a point where I had traveled so much, and I found myself in a space where I was like, okay, I'm always chasing the next country. I'm chasing the next country, chasing the next adventure, chasing the next this, that, whatever. But I'm never really happy. And I was at a really, really unhappy point in my life. Unhappy with my relationship, unhappy with the place that I was at, unhappy with just everything. So I Googled how to be happy, right? And also, at that moment, I had done, like a little bit before that, I had done okay, let me finish that thought first with the happiness. So I had Googled how to be happy and everything. So I found the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is a German, but now I think he lives in Canada now, author. He's incredible. Like, you have to read this book. Like, The Power of Now and A New World by him are incredible. And he's also about the subconscious mind, and about, your thoughts, and about just living in the now, enjoying the now, being grateful for the now, what you have, whatever. It's a really great, they're really great books, and he's a very wise person. A little bit before that happened, I had done a challenge, a virtual assistant challenge, where within 1 week I had gotten 3 clients basically to be for whom I could be their virtual assistant. And then one of them I did an exchange with. It was Alta Lainez. I'm going to have her on this podcast as well. She's a hypnotherapist. And she was like, hey, why don't we exchange services? Why don't you give me your virtual assistant services and I'll do hypnosis for you? I was like, oh, wow, that is so cool. Okay, yeah. So Alta, she changed my mindset from, okay, I have to work for an hour and I get a certain amount of money. So exchanging time versus money, rather than exchanging value or a project versus money. So with her, I up-leveled my mindset about money. And she also helped me a lot when it came to the relationship, resolving the relationship with my mom. She helped me a lot with resolving. So I used to date really, really bad people for like 4 years, like cheaters, alcoholics, gang members, blah, blah, blah. Really bad people. And she helped me find out why. And like I really had to dig deep. And with hypnosis, you dig deep because you go right to the root of the problem. So we did that several times, and she has helped me come to peace with a lot of parts of myself that I had never come to peace with, and that I was like, why did I do that? And it was still bugging me. I was still thinking about the past. And I really can say that nowadays, everything that was in the past doesn't bother me anymore. Like, I really don't think about the past anymore. I don't get fed up about anything that happened in the past. I don't regret anything. And if I would die tomorrow, I would be happy dying tomorrow because I knew I had lived my way the way I want, or my life the way I wanted to. I can credit a lot of that success to Alta, and obviously to also my, me reading about self-development and working on myself a lot as well. But hypnosis has changed my life in such a great way that last year I finally decided to become a hypnotherapist myself. So I got a course with Transform Destiny. It was an online course, and it was really amazing. And I've also hypnotized a bunch of my friends, and helped them with, for example, one of my friends, he was eating candy like all day, every day, all the time. And I was like, dude, why are you eating so much candy? He's like, I don't know, I just love it or whatever. And I was like, how about we do a hypnosis session or whatever, right? And so we did, and he stopped eating candy. And 2 months later, he hit me up. He was like, Jenny, I just gotten a gift bag with a lot of candy, and I don't know what to do with it. Like, I want to give it away. And I was like, oh my God, that's so incredible how we changed that. And another person, she had really deep-rooted issues with her dad. She came to me for another issue, but she had really deep-rooted issues with her dad. So her current life issue went back to what she had going on with her dad. And after the hypnosis session, she wrote her dad a Father's Day card for the very first time in her life. Like, it still gives me chills to this day. It was really incredible. And then 3 people I was able to help with just, they were all coming to me with the same problem. Like, oh, Jenny, I don't work on my business. I'm a little scared to put myself out there. I don't know why and whatever. And I was like, okay, let's fix this. Let's go back to the root cause. And we did an age regression with hypnosis, and all of them started working on their business, showing up for themselves, showing up in their business, and are successful. So it's really incredible to see that also. And I also have become very interested in past life regression. That was because of my former coach. She gave me a book to read. It was about the journey of souls. So basically, there's several hypnotherapists who never believed in souls or afterlife or reincarnation or whatever, or anything spiritual like that. And then through hypnosis, they all discovered that sometimes their clients were slipping back into their past lives and were talking in like a different language, or were saying something about their old lives. And also that, so to say, the masters are speaking to them. The masters are an entity that are really, really advanced souls, and they give advice to souls that are not as advanced, or souls who are seeking to connect with them. Like Abraham Hicks. Abraham Hicks is like a master, so to say. So yeah, that really interested me, and I have regressed several people back to their past lives, and it was incredible for me to see, because through past life regression, you can gain a lot of insight into this life's issues. Because if you have any karmic debt, you can release that. Or if you have had anything going on, like physical pain, for example, in this life, let's say you have unexplainable neck pain, and you find out that in a past life, through past life regression, that you have been stabbed in the neck, that pain disappears. That is not fiction, guys. That is not fiction. That has been proven by several hypnotherapists who have done past life regression, and they have documented all of this, and it's really incredible. And if you really get into the subject, you will learn more and more about it. And you also get more intuitive. Like, there was one patient in a book that I read by Brian Weiss, like his patient Catherine, she was able to bet on a horse, and that horse would win, because she was able to tell like what's going on. She got really, really intuitive and really in tune with life. She got happier. She got free. Like, it's really affecting you in a great positive way, whether you believe in it or not. It works. First of all, it works. And it works in a really positive way. So yeah, this is my current interests now in hypnosis are just solving blocks that they don't know that they have, because sometimes they're like, Jenny, I don't do this, but I don't know why I don't do this. And I'm like, okay, let's find the root issue. Let's find the cause of why you are not doing what you're meant to be doing. And so I help people with that, which is really the greatest gift that hypnosis has given me. And also, if they want to explore their past lives, that's another passion of mine. That's what I'm doing at the moment. That's what I'm excited about. And I'm also going to introduce you guys to other people who are doing that, and who are doing different things, who are helping clients with weight loss, or who are helping clients to overcome childhood issues, or whatever it is. But yeah, that's my little story with hypnosis. And through hypnosis, I found more about the subconscious mind, and I really studied everything I could find about it. I did guided meditations, I did hypnosis on YouTube, guided meditations on YouTube and everything. And I really got into the works of Dr. Joe Dispenza and the teachings of Eckhart Tolle. So this podcast is really a passion project of mine. And I just want to share it with you because it's so important to access our subconscious mind. And it's so incredible what us as humans are capable of if we learn how to access our subconscious mind and how to work with it and just how to live better life thanks to our subconscious mind. So let me give you some background info before I tell you how to do all of these miracles and create reality with your thoughts. So I'm going to start with telling you about the different brainwaves that we have. So from the ages when we were born until about 2, our brains function with delta brainwaves. These are the slowest brainwaves. And when we're adults, we still have them when we sleep, for example. That's why newborns are sleeping all the time, just because their brains are functioning in the lowest frequency, which is delta, or which are delta brainwaves. And when you know babies, and you probably do, you know that they don't think yet, they don't analyze, they don't judge, they don't do any of that, because all of that is the conscious brain. The subconscious is memory. Like whatever you memorize, whatever you have memorized, all the emotions you have memorized, that's your subconscious mind. As babies grow older, and from the ages from about 2 years old to about 5 or 6, we as kids begin to have faster brain waves, a little bit faster than delta, and these are called theta brain waves. Dr. Joe Dispenza actually calls these brainwaves the realm of the subconscious mind. So the theta state is the most powerful when you're in your subconscious mind. That's where the magic happens, basically. So children that are operating in these with these theta brainwave frequencies, they are very much within themselves, within their imagination, and they, like we always say, like, oh, kids have like imaginary friends, or they have a big imagination because they can play with anything and they can make something out of nothing, basically. And that is because they're acting from their subconscious mind. And our subconscious mind takes in information easily. So be careful what you're saying to your young kid, because it'll take on the information real quick. For example, if you say boys don't cry, or girls play with Barbies or whatever, or girls wear pink or whatever, this information goes into your child's brain without the filtering of the conscious mind, because the conscious mind has not developed yet. It has not been thinking, analyzing, critically judging, or whatever. So that's why whatever parents say to their kids during that age will stick. And that's also when most of our current day problems, that's what they're going back to whatever somebody, may it be a parent, a teacher, a friend, or whatever, said to us during that age. And if it was something bad, or if you experienced a divorce at that age and all you know is drama and chaos, then you're obviously affected by that still until today, unless you change that. But I'll get to that one later. And when we grow up even further, around the ages of 5 until about 8, our brains will operate in an alpha frequency. Alpha brainwaves are a bit faster than theta ones, and this is when kids slowly start developing their conscious mind, when they start to filter through the conscious mind, when they start to analyze, think, judge, and ask questions like how or why or whatever. But they're still in their own worlds, and they're caught basically between imagination and reality. So when you ask a child at that age to pretend to play something, or to be someone or somebody, or an animal or whatever, that's why children are so great at that, and they can do that for hours. So they are caught between conscious mind and subconscious mind, and they will act from both worlds. And once they reach the ages of 8 until they're about 12, their brainwaves are going even faster. And these are now called beta brainwaves. And beta brainwaves are our conscious mind. That means we think, we judge, we analyze. And also during that age, we lose the magic of our subconscious mind. We don't imagine as much anymore. We're not as creative anymore. We just really start thinking and questioning how, why, when, and we take in everything from our parents, from our teachers, from society, whatever they say. We ask ourselves, like, is this true? Is this true for me? And if so, then yes, we take on that belief. For example, a belief about race or racism, or a belief about what boys should do or girls should do, or how we should be, and what is good and what is not good. And the more you grow up, the faster your brainwaves become. So that means the more you're operating from beta frequencies, which means you think more, you analyze more, and you judge more, right? But that also means our brain can process information. We can store information. We can learn about information. That's what we can all do in a conscious state. Let's say you're at university or you're at school, and you're just taking on the information. You're learning, you're processing, you're analyzing, you're thinking. That's what you can do with your beta brainwaves. So now, when we're adults, when and how do we access our subconscious? Because normally we're just operating from our conscious mind, right? We're just operating from these beta brainwaves. But for example, close your eyes now and just relax and just let your thoughts pass. And you will already feel that you're going to be, first of all, you're going to be more relaxed, and you're analyzing less, you're thinking less, because you're not getting any visual information. Like, your brain doesn't have to process any visual information. So that means your brain waves are also slowing down, and they're going into an alpha state. We can also go even deeper into subconscious mind, and we can slow our brain waves down even further to theta brain waves as adults. When we are, for example, meditating, when we're in a state of hypnosis. By the way, hypnosis and meditation is the same thing, except hypnosis has a purpose or a goal. For example, stop smoking, or stop nail biting, or working out more, eating healthy, or whatever it is. But it's the same, because in meditation and hypnosis both, you are in a relaxed state of mind, which is the theta state. And you also are in that relaxed state of mind when you're reading a book, for example. When you're so engrossed in the book that you feel everything that is going on, and that you lose track of time and space. And you're in the same state when you're daydreaming, for example. When you're just not thinking about time and space anymore. You're just completely forgetting everything around you. Or when you're in the car and when you're just thinking and daydreaming, and you just totally forgot how you even got to the point where you are, and you don't remember anything that happened on the way. But you were just like, oh wow, that was fast, or whatever, right? We got here fast. And think of the theta brainwave state as like a twilight state, or a lucid state, in which you can also access your deepest or your core beliefs, your values, and your memories, because that's what your subconscious mind stores. And then also as adults, if we're in a delta brainwave state, which means the slowest brainwaves, that's most of the time when we're sleeping, because that's when our brain recovers and when our body recovers. And dreams also happen in very low frequency brainwaves. And if any of you ever heard about lucid dreaming, lucid dreaming is when you are aware that you're dreaming and when you kind of can gain control over what you're seeing, what you're dreaming. Science has shown that these lucid dreams, they happen in a gamma brainwave state, and gamma brainwaves are the fastest. They were even faster than beta brainwaves, and there has been a study about Tibetan Buddhist monks. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that one. And their brains can access a gamma state of mind really easily when asked to get into a state of love and compassion. That's what that gamma brain state is associated with as well. So, but they have been practicing, obviously, meditation for hours a day, right? So it's really easy for them to do that. For normal people like us who sometimes do not daily or twice daily or 3 times daily access our subconscious minds, which is also like the gamma brainwaves are part of that, it's way harder for us to get into that gamma brainwave state. And gamma brainwaves, they also occur when you're really happy and when you're really compassionate and loving, and when you have increased awareness, for example. It's like Joe Dispenza says, it's like a heightened level of consciousness. So now that we know that our brainwaves determine our state, which whether we're acting from a conscious point of view or from a subconscious point of view, let's go into how we can reach our subconscious state of mind, and why it is important to practice it, and why it is important to access our subconscious mind on a regular basis. So, for example, through meditation or through hypnosis or through like a walk in nature, for example, or any place or state of mind where you just forget about time and space, like when you do something that really makes you happy, which is, for example, dancing or reading or whatever. That's when we feel good, right? That's when we feel great. And that's when our brains are in a subconscious state of mind and are operating on a theta brainwave level. And the reason why people meditate is, well, some people just, there's different reasons, but the goal of meditation is to just be, and to be in the moment, to accept everything for what it is, to become one with everything around you and with everyone around you, and just be. That's the real purpose of meditation. And to not care about the future, to not care about the past, to just stop thinking, stop analyzing, stop worrying, stop analyzing, stop judging, stop everything. And since all of that happens in our conscious brain, we obviously have to access our subconscious brain to stop thinking, analyzing, judging, or whatever, right? Meditation is one tool, and I'm going to be talking to a few meditation experts in this podcast as well, who are going to teach you more about meditation, about how to meditate, about the different methods of meditation, different ways of meditation. And if you have any questions about meditation, make sure to send me an email or write me or anything, contact me anywhere, so I can ask that my guests. Then there's also another way to access your subconscious mind, which is what I love. I love meditation, obviously, but I also love another way, which is hypnosis. And some people are afraid, others are skeptic or whatever about hypnosis, because there are myths which I want to debunk right now, once and for all, so you know what hypnosis really is. So some of you may have seen the movie Get Out, and that's why they're scared of hypnosis, and they're scared of the hypnotist controlling their minds. Well, imagine if a hypnotist would control people's minds. some kind of crook in the hypnosis industry would have taken everybody's bank accounts numbers and information and gotten all the money from that person and not having the bank account owner remember that, right? And they would have made them fall in love with different people, and they would have done whatever to them just so that they control them. Is that happening? Nope, it is not happening. So the first myth of somebody else controlling your mind is herewith debunked. Please don't believe that. You are the only person who can control your own mind. You have the power over your own mind. Nobody else can control your mind, period. Then let's go to stage hypnosis. Some people may have seen that, like a hypnotist on stage making people act like fools, right? For example, they gonna, what is the word? Like bark like a chicken? Or they're gonna walk around like dogs, or guys kissing guys or whatever. The hypnotist is making people do things on stage that they normally may not do, or they forget their names, or they can't move their arms anymore. Stuff like that. However, that is because the subjects know that this is going to happen and they want to make a fool of themselves. So the hypnotist is basically only doing what the subjects want. And as long as the hypnotist is doing something that the subject is okay with, the subject will do it. The subject will be, they love being on stage making a fool of themselves. They're like, okay, I'm just going to have fun. I'm just going to be hypnotized. That's going to be awesome. So they go on stage and they will play their role in the show of the hypnotist. However, as soon as the hypnotist is saying something that the subject does not want to do, for example, again, a guy kissing another guy, sometimes they don't want to do that. So when they don't want to do that, the hypnotist is, and the subject will wake up. They will awake from the trance state, the Theta brainwave state that they're in, and they will go back into their conscious mind, meaning their brainwaves will go faster. And the hypnotist realizes this, and as soon as he does, he sends off the subjects off the stage, and he's like, okay, thank you for your cooperation, you were awesome, but for now, bye. And then people are also afraid of hypnosis because they know that hypnosis or accessing their subconscious mind will bring up something that they don't want to, something scary, something they may not remember, or whatever it is. However, let me ask you this. Let's say your subconscious is bringing up something from your childhood, right? A really traumatic event, or an event that you just forgot because your brain wanted to forget it. Well, now you are 10, 20, 30 years older or 40 years older, and you have all the knowledge from today, right? So do you really think you are not equipped with handling whatever happened in your past because you have so much more knowledge? And for people who believe in the higher self or in a soul or whatever it is, your higher self or your soul or your inner being, your survival instinct even, they want you to be happy. That's your normal state. That's the state we all want to be in, and that our brain wants us to be in. Because obviously when we're happy, we're functioning best, right? And what I find so fascinating is about hypnosis that you can do so many things with it. Like, I've already recorded a few podcast interviews, one with a fetish hypnotist, for example, another one with someone who does past life regression. That means she's accessing people's past lives, and that when you access your past lives, you become more intuitive, you learn lessons, you become more content with the fact that you're gonna die, and many, many other positive things. And also, for example, you can do stage hypnosis. Like I already said, I already did an interview with a stage hypnotist, so he will explain to you more about that. And you can solve just a lot of things, a lot of issues that you have in your current life with hypnosis. I'm going to give you a statistic right now that blew my mind. So there was a study done by the American Health magazine, and it was conducting how many people were achieving recovery with hypnosis, with psychoanalysis, and with behavior therapy. And 93% of people who were treated with hypnotherapy, they were achieving recovery versus 72% in behavioral therapy and 38% with psychoanalysis. And there was another study from the Psychotherapy magazine, volume 7, number 1, which said that psychoanalysis took people 600 hours to recover, 22 hours with behavior therapy, and only 6 hours with hypnotherapy. That's how powerful hypnosis is, because hypnosis grabs the problem or the issue by the root in the subconscious mind, where it is memorized by our brain. And we can transform this memory into something positive, into something great, into something that kind of didn't really happen, because our brains cannot differentiate between reality and imagination. And that fact is also explained by a study. There was a study done that was giving people, so they were giving a group notes to practice on the piano, on an actual piano, and they were giving people notes to practice just in their mind, like practice piano notes in their minds. And then when both people were performing, the people who were performing, who had only studied the notes in their mind, had performed just as well as the people who were actually studying the piano. So that means whether you practice something in your mind or whether you practice something really physically, it doesn't matter, because our brain both takes it in, our brain memorizes both. And that's another way we see how powerful our brains are, and how we control our brains can affect our lives greatly. That's why I was starting this podcast, and I hope you're going to love it. As I said, I have conducted interviews with a fetish hypnotist, a stage hypnotist, a past life regression hypnotist, someone who's teaching meditation, another person who used hypnotherapy to overcome weight loss issues and anxiety and depression, and another person who got into hypnosis because she wanted to get rid of all her childhood trauma in order to raise her children without all the trauma that she had been through, and without everything that was still affecting her because of the drama she used to have. So really, really interesting conversations that are awaiting you for this podcast, and I'm super excited to show it to everybody, and can't wait to get started. Hopefully you're going to leave me a great review, and yeah, I hope you will enjoy the next few podcast episodes. And if you have a suggestion for me for a guest, or if you would like to be a guest on the podcast, let me know, shoot me a message, and I will get back to you. Stay tuned and listen to this podcast if you want to know how you can control your thoughts and emotions and your brain better to have a better life and to live a better life and to be happier overall. I'm wishing you a great rest of your day wherever you are, sending lots of love and light to you, and I'm looking forward to you listening to the next podcast episodes.